stay. I've got 503 and I'm getting a little bit of feedback here, Matt. When you can mess with that, I'll try to stay back a little bit because it's picking up a lot. So, yeah, good evening. So, special session tonight. We're going to kick off with the workshop. I've got 504 now for call to order. We will go into right into public comment. I've chatted with Scott. You are the only one listed, so you said you were going to waive that.
Yep. If I'm the only one, I won't waste you guys' time. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. So, so I will then forego my normal blithering, repetitive reading, which I just got to say I'm getting pretty good at. So, but oh, that's right. Do you want him to stand up there for 3 minutes so you can use your timer? Demonstrate it for us. Wow. That's, I don't know. You're going to demonstrate it. Push the button. Show everybody what it does.
Oh, that's cute. Green, yellow, okay.
Seconds out, and then, you know.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
We mean business.
It's like the Supreme
We're
Court.
traffic
I like
light.
it. Yeah, we're doing.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Good night.
Okay, so let's see. First up, regular agenda. Here. You know, it has been a day, it has been a weekend, I don't need this. What I would like to do, because I think this one will go quicker than, with no objection, I'd like to flip-flop the order here and jump to discussion item 26019, which is the potential design for Ansay Park. So I would like to do that first, if there's no objection. Okay, so Dennis is not here. No. Okay, so in the packet again, brought back for your consideration, reconsideration, I should say, and Mary can discuss it if you have any additional, anything to add. I can kind of tell you what Dennis and I discussed. So it is brought back in its original form, and Mary, I will turn it over to you if you have anything additional to add on bringing it back, and then council open for your discussion.
Go Green. Good afternoon. The only thing that I would like to clarify or add maybe some clarity was that for the first phase, the maximum amount that could be spent was at $135,000 that was approved by City Council at the previous meeting. So the intention of the plan is the plan, but the expenditure portion was planned not to exceed that $135,000.
Right. So were you going to come back with a budget amendment for a difference once you went out for bid, or how do we move forward?
Well, the plan, the way it is, it would allow for that $135,000 to be spent if there was an expenditure that exceeded that $100,000 threshold or that amount, then it would have to come back to council for approval for purchases that exceed that amount, that dollar amount that was budgeted.
Yeah, so we can get the playground equipment, the site preparation for the playground equipment, and the ADA from the parking lot to the playground equipment and the bathrooms.
Well, it would be up to $135,000 because there could be, with working with the engineers, different ways of placing it that would allow other things. I mean, it would
that
be.
will get those covered.
Hopefully,
Okay.
with prices and everything is changing so rapidly right now with cost. But it would be, the intent of the plan for that first phase was to replace the playground equipment there at that park for the community.
Okay, well, I misread this. I thought that authorization to proceed was this asking us to give the city manager authorization to proceed on the conceptual plan. And we weren't ready to do that yet because we literally had 24 hours with that plan for $3.5 million for just one park. And so, but what we talked about, I don't know if you were here, Dennis was not here, I remember, but we had talked about moving forward on phase 1A.
Yes.
So I think that's what I'm prepared to do tonight. But you do not need any type of resolution for that?
No, it is my understanding that when you adopt the plan, you adopt the plan, but the budget portion still comes to council because we already approved 135,000. So that's
Well, we
been
didn't
budgeted.
adopt the plan, we accepted the plan.
Well,
I mean, yeah, so we're not ready to implement except for Phase 1A, just to get
But
the
if we,
words.
it's kind of like accepting the road study, from what I understood. We accepted the whole road study and approved it. It doesn't mean we approve the $19 million it takes to fix the road. It just means that we approved the whole plan, and from what I understand, they can't go forward with anything unless we accept the plan as instead of 1A, we have to just accept the plan as a whole,
And that's
Yeah.
why when,
as it was written.
and when they went
I
through,
understand that, but we didn't really, what we had talked about is that 3.5, and Stephen, you're the most intimate with this, was an à la carte, was a cafeteria plan. That's totally different than the road plan. The road was an assessment of all of our roads. This park was an assessment of Ansay Park only. So it's a different concept, and also roads are something that year in, year out, we're gonna do something on roads. And so that's kind of a roadmap, so to speak, of how to do roads. But I'm not prepared to move forward on 3.5 million on Ansay Park. I was willing to go forward on, 20 million on roads over a period of, so many years. But I think to say we're gonna put in the basketball, the baseball with all these lights, I'm not sure we're gonna do that. So it's kind of a pie in the sky, wish list, as opposed to roads are more, basic, I think.
Are they?
Are we,
Well, you know what I mean.
are we approving the plan without the budget? I mean, we just approved to go ahead with 1A, but it looks like the resolution is to approve the conceptual design and phasing diagram plans. Has nothing to do with dollars and cents.
So they'll bring, every time they do another phase, they have to bring
Yeah.
it back to council for approval of the
Exactly.
budget.
yes, sir.
And so this
Okay.
has to be approved in order to even move forward, from what I understand.
But that's not what Section 2 says. Section 2 says we are authorizing the city manager to proceed with the next phases of project development, including the final design and procurement in accordance with our procurement policies. No, I want Parks and Rec to determine the next step in this process. I don't want to turn this over to the city manager for implementation. That's my personal opinion. I think it has to go through Parks and Rec. Even Scott Mosier said, this is a cafeteria plan. We can implement some, but we're not going to implement all of it. This is basically saying the city manager can implement all of it.
But do you think the city manager, we don't have the resources to do that, right?
Well, then why are we authorizing it?
The
Why
plan,
don't we just authorize what we're willing to authorize?
when
I
you
think
go
we're getting
through,
ahead of ourselves.
for this fiscal year, there's 135,000 and then a couple that's allocated for the park for this year. Next year, the way the plan would be used is to figure out what phase with the committee, with whoever the new city manager is, and then they come and they say, okay, we're gonna put this much money for next year. We go through whatever it is, if it's over 100,000, it has to come to council.
But then I would
So-
suggest that we say that the Parks and Rec Committee has the authorization to proceed with the next steps.
They don't have finances.
They can't
They
do that.
don't, but they're
Manage it.
authorized to
It
bring
has
it
go
back to
through the city.
council.
Yeah.
I just,
Well, we're just going to improve a concept. We're not spending any money.
correct, but this is saying we're approving the implementation.
They can't do anything without without us giving them money.
That's true.
We have $135,000.
It's a very simple question.
Yeah, we have $135,000.
Yeah, that's all they
aside
can use.
For part of phase one of the plan.
But they need approval for the concept. That's what we're here to do today, that's all.
But are we approving $3.5 million?
No, we're not. We're
Okay,
approving the
wait a minute,
concept.
let me finish. $3.5 million for Ansay Park alone, and we're gonna do that baseball field, and we're gonna do the basketball courts. We're gonna do it over time. It's a matter of funding. I think it's more a matter also of what we want to do. That's just, it's like somebody gives you an idea, and then you say, oh, okay, well, I like the first phase of that idea, but I'm not ready to decide. We had 24 hours. I mean, I'm not ready to decide on if we're going to make the basketball court at Clipus Park the one that we invest the money in, or the pickleball courts, are we going to put those in Clipus Park? This is saying we're putting them in Ansay Park. And I guess it's just a difference in, I know we set the budgets, but it's also, we set the priorities of the city as to whether Ansay Park gets this or whether, well, should come through Parks and Rec, or whether Clipus Park gets something. This is just, you know, it's a partial look.
So the way we intended this, I mean, wording could be the conceptual drawing was put together as a roadmap for us for.
Right.
Okay. This, we have to adopt it before we can.
Which we did at the
Whether
last
it's-
meeting.
No,
Go
we
out for
didn't, we
grants or
didn't.
whatever.
With the amendment we made, it was not considered adopted and they cannot move forward with it.
Exactly
We
right.
can't order playground equipment. We can't do any of the things that we promised that community that we were going to do if we do not.
The
And that's
removal of
just a
section
fact.
2 and 3.
Like, and so I understand your concerns and.
No, I guess I fundamentally disagree. The city council hereby approves the conceptual design and phasing plans for John Ansay Park. We have accepted it. We've accepted the plan. The second one is to give the city manager permission to implement this whole plan. I mean, I'm fine being odd man out, but I don't want it to end up in the city manager's hands. I want it to stay with Parks and Rec, and I want it to come through that process. And I also think that we need to look at the other parks too.
Agreed.
So this is just one park.
And I think the focus shifted to this park because a previous city manager had to make it safe.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, a part of our community has been begging to have their park put back together.
And we
And
said
that's
we
the
would
right thing to
that.
do.
We said we would do that a year ago. We said we wanted to replace, and we even budgeted for it.
Right,
So I
and that's
don't know
why
what
we
the
have
holdup is.
$135,000. So let's get going.
Get going.
Let's get going.
Okay, what do we need to do to get going? We've got $135,000.
We have to approve this
We've already
resolution.
accepted
They
the
can't go out
plan.
for bids
Yes,
unless-
they can. We've already accepted the plan. Okay, read section 1. How do you interpret that?
It's just what I was told by someone who.
I know,
runs
by our city manager.
government, yeah.
I understand that, Roxanne, but
Well, they haven't got an approval for the concept.
yes,
That's what they want
do.
tonight.
They got it last time. They got it at our last meeting.
We discussed it, we didn't give them approval.
Yes, Jimbo signed the resolution. I asked him, I said, Jimbo, have you signed that resolution? And he said, yes.
Then why is it on the agenda
I
tonight?
don't know.
Because
It's being brought, so it's being brought back because the city manager has indicated that essentially what we did the last time we considered this, when we removed sections 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 3, so, yeah. Essentially what we did was we stopped the process. So section 1, and it's right in here, hereby approves the conceptual design and phasing plans for Ansay Park improvements attached here too. So council has approved the conceptual design.
Correct.
So moving forward from there, removing section 2, which is the authorization to proceed. And if what I'm hearing, Dorothy, allow me to paraphrase if I can, what I'm hearing essentially is everybody knows that we want the project to move forward, but we want to specify which portions of that project.
Correct.
So if you just read section 2 in here, and I've been sitting here mulling it over again, city manager and designee is authorized, essentially, there's no specificity in this, and I get it. We know that there's $135,000. We know it's gotta come back to council. We know. We know this is the process. However, is authorized to proceed with the next phases. My question, just as a resident here, is what does that mean, next phases?
That
Define
means we're
that.
moving forward on the baseball field.
Yeah, so
That's
now,
what that
again,
tells
I
me.
know, council, I know, I said here with you guys, I know you're saying phase 1, we want the park, we want the sidewalks. The question I have for you is, does that need to be specified somewhere? So does council need to come back, for example, with a resolution that says, we have approved the concept, we are now approving the park and the sidewalk? for not to exceed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if, Neil, you have some input on
I
that
was
one?
about to ask you, Neil, what is your thoughts on this?
Does say based and approved by council, so council will have say as they go through the phases.
I drafted a resolution that basically, I can hand it out.
Let's hear it. Let's read it.
Let me just hand it out, which is basically authorizing moving forward. $135,000.
Are you afraid that the new city manager is gonna come in and be like, I'm doing all this? Like, is that your fear, Dorothy,
I
honestly?
don't want them to think, okay, we had 24 hours to review the plan.
Right.
We've accepted the plan. I don't want them to think we are saying, yes, we want to do everything in the plan. It was presented as an à la carte plan.
Correct.
And it was presented as cafeteria,
Right.
like we pick and choose. So it's not a plan that's going to be fully implemented like the road plan. It's it's conceptual as opposed to implementable.
I just want to remind that in section 2, it did say based upon available funding
I know,
and as approved by council.
we're responsible for
Right.
funding.
Right,
Right.
and in section 3, it did say the city manager or designee was authorized to make minor administrative adjustments to the plan as necessary to bring each of the plan project to fruition and within budget.
Yeah, I don't want it in the city manager's hands. I want it in Parks and Rec, coming through council. So what I said is all this other boilerplate that goes at the beginning, I said the council has approved the conceptual design and phasing plans for Johnny Ansay Park at a special session on March 17th, and the city understands that the total cost of Phase 1 exceeds $135,000 current funds that are available in the budget, and that the council finds that the enactment of this resolution is a legitimate exercise of our authority, and then the authorization to proceed, I'm giving the city manager the authorization to proceed with the replacement of the playground equipment, the installation of the ADA accessible parking, an ADA accessible partial walking trail, along with site preparation needed as described in the conceptual plan in accordance with the procurement policies, state law, based on available funding, approved by council not to exceed, and I left it blank because I don't know what that number is. And then I left in the city manager can make minor adjustments as necessary to, so I'm just doing the playground equipment and the ADA, which is my understanding of what this council wanted to do. I think the other thing that really bugs me is council looked at this resolution 2 weeks ago. We talked about it, and then we made some adjustments, and it's an approved resolution, so we're gonna have to revoke the other resolution, but then the city manager didn't like what we did, so then he comes back and he wants us to revisit it. I'm sorry, this is nothing against Jimbo, but this is smacking at home rule. How when the home rule committee got together, they voted on something, somebody didn't like it. The next week, different group of people were there, they revisited the same decision all over again and came up with a different decision. Council cannot do that. We can't, if it's a bad decision, let's revoke it. But it was a good decision that we made. There's nothing wrong with the decision we made. If the city manager needs clarification as to how to move forward, then this is it. I mean, I'm not a resolution writer. Kelly's gonna have to make sure it's right, and Neil too, but that's my attempt at just giving the authority that we think we're giving. And I'm sorry Dennis doesn't agree with me. But I don't think a city manager should come back with a resolution that we've already approved and said, I don't like your answer, revisit it again. That's not his authority. He's supposed to implement what city council,
But what if we didn't do it right and he cannot implement it?
well, that's false, Roxanne.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
How do you know? Are you a city governor?
No, but I know what the council's intent is, and so we're very clear on our intent. Our
Be
intent,
comfortable tabling this then?
no, we've got to move forward on the playground equipment.
Well, I thought you just said that what we already approved does that.
Well, if Dennis doesn't think it does, this will very specifically.
I'm not the least bit worried about what the manager does because he doesn't have more than $135,000.
I agree, I agree. I think we need to
Okay.
approve the conceptual plan
We already did.
stated.
So are we going to revoke Resolution 2613 as a bad resolution? Okay, then we have to revoke that one before we do another one that is the exact same as presented. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with the one I just drafted?
Got it 2 seconds ago.
I
haven't had a
understand
chance to
that.
read it.
But, well, this is a workshop, so,
Well, I think this, the 135,000, we know that's the number that, we want to say, what I'm hearing you is that we want authorization, go out for bids. $5,000 that's listed.
It's already
I could
in
go
here.
up to 150, I could go, that's why I left it blank. We already have 135.
Correct.
Yeah, so what,
The
but
only-
Mary thinks we can do it for 135, so I would say leave it at
Well, again-
135.
I don't believe it would
Well,
go for $135,000.
Okay,
well-
perfect, then we can leave it at 135.
No, I said I don't believe we can do it for 135.
Oh,
The
what do you think?
ADA accessible parking and all of that, that's, I mean, that's why there was discussion about, that's why I think the à la carte and moving things was going to be maybe moving, making adjustments to the plan so that we could get the playground equipment and not exceed that 135,000.
Well, then we can change this to just get the play equipment, and we can't do the ADA, but my understanding was we had to
Have
bring
to
it
do the
up. We
ADA.
have to do the
Right.
ADA. So, but I'm tired of not getting Ansay Park playground equipment. That happened when Ryan was here as an interim. And, come on, people. We need to give Dennis permission to move forward on the equipment, and my understanding is ADA. Now, also, Mary, my understanding is that BJ and his team have said that they can do some of the ADA, so it's not out-of-pocket money.
I think some of the discussion, and I know BJ's not here, was maybe realigning items so that it wouldn't be as expensive, like on the ADA, moving the playground equipment, making some adjustments. So the cost wouldn't be as high. Now, the ADA compliance that we need to have, of course, we're gonna have to make sure that anybody who needs to have access to the playground will have access, but it's on the placement.
Well, I think too, we don't want to pile even more on BJ.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think that's,
Well, what do we want to say not to exceed? We got to get on with it. We don't have to at this workshop, but I'd like to at the meeting.
I know, because if we had figured this out 2 weeks ago, we would have playground equipment this summer for these kids.
We thought we did,
Right.
but he said, no, it's not enough authorization. 'Cause we gave him the budget, and we accepted the plan. So this is specifically.
Yes, but when you all, on the one that was adopted, you removed section 2.
Right.
And I'm trying to look at where it says that you authorized the city manager designee to proceed with the phases, which in this case would have been the playground equipment.
Can we say
based on
phase
a-
1A?
And then on the second part that was removed was authorized to make minor adjustments to the plans as necessary in order to bring the phase of the project into fruition, which means instead of doing the whole item, we would do a little bit at a time, whatever budget was allowed. We would take it, yes, it's a pizza, but we're not gonna do 12 slices of pizza. We're only gonna do 1 slice of pizza this year, another slice of that phase within whatever is approved through city council, whether it's through the Parks and Committee. If they recommend, let's say 70,000, it goes through council, they approve it, then 70,000 will pay for maybe a slice and a half of that pizza. That's what the section 2 and 3.
I'd like to ask, do we feel satisfied with the last resolution we made? Because
Yes.
the manager doesn't come to us and say, I need another resolution.
Right.
If we're satisfied,
We've
we're
already
satisfied.
budgeted for it.
Well, then it's over.
And we
Just table it.
budgeted for playground equipment. That was what the 135 was for.
Well, then we're
We said
wasting our
we
time.
have to, I know, but for some reason Dennis doesn't want to move
I
forward.
don't care what Dennis wants.
Well, he's the one that's implementing it. Mary, can you move forward on this without Dennis? I mean, this is ridiculous.
He's the city manager, so.
I know.
take direction from
Well, he
my
takes
boss.
direction from us.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we're telling him to move forward on phase 1A and try to keep it in 135.
Well, I think the mayor can just have a talk with him. This doesn't have to go on.
I'm just taking it all in. Honestly, I've had a long day. You know,
Says or his designee, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says our designee.
Should say that. If you authorize the city manager or
Yeah, you know, push your button.
to proceed, will that not solve the problem?
I don't know. Jimbo, can you deal with this with?
Yeah, I can talk with him tomorrow, and another option or possibility is just kind of looking at the one that is brought back for you tonight, 26016. In section 2, city manager designee, and I think Neil, I heard somebody say it. Again,
1A.
seeking that specificity is, city manager designee is authorized to proceed with, instead of next phases of project development, just be specific. 1A.
Phase 1A. I'm perfect with that.
I mean, that's essentially,
Including final design and procurement with the law, as we've approved the funding, which we've already approved 135. I think if you get rid of next phases and change it to phase 1A.
and if you wanted to, you know, for
If
Crystal,
you
for,
can't do that, then,
Well, if you do that, then you're gonna have to adopt a new resolution to phase 2, phase 3, phase.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, because I'm not even sure we're gonna get to phase 3. No, not, you're gonna put $250,000 worth of lighting in a baseball field in Ansay Park.
I don't know that we're gonna do that. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
we'll get phase 1A completed, then we'll move.
Right.
Yeah,
If you're concerned about the city manager taking advantage of stuff, always put in there stipulation as recommended by Parks and Rec Committee.
Dorothy, what do you not like about this plan?
I would like to look at Clipus Park at the same time, walking trail at Smith. You know, we may get a lease at Rogers Park, and we only have so much money to put into parks. So I would be happy if we could put, you know, less than $500,000 in Ansay Park, not 3.5 million or 3.8 or whatever it is. I'd be happy with $500,000. So I don't want to implement this plan as we approved it. I want to implement what is practical for that park and other parks and other city priorities,
So
like the
then-
water well.
But then now you're dealing with, the crew the engineers that came out and did this recommendation and wrote it all up. They'll have to read right up the whole
No, they
recommendation.
will not, Roxanne.
Well, section
We
one.
don't have to get a study every time we do something. Is it a great idea to get a study on Ansay Park? Absolutely. Do we have to do that on we didn't get a study on Clipus Park, and it turned out pretty well. So I'm not a study by death
I'm not either,
person.
but I'm just saying,
No, you don't have to get the engineering firm to come out and change it. No, you do not.
Okay, so
100%.
section 1 does say to approve the plan, so that would stay in, correct? Section 2.
We've already done that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but
except for that, we didn't really do it right, because we had the resolution, and then we started talking about it, and then we changed it. But we didn't make an amendment, we just changed it, it was already made a motion to approve it, and then we changed it, we said, oh yeah, let's do that, but we didn't really, you know, vote on that. So I don't think we followed a correct process last time, from what I reviewed in the,
Well, we didn't realize that it was, Dennis asked us to approve the plan, which is what we did. We didn't realize that he wasn't going to move forward on that approval. I did not realize he was not going to move forward. I knew that that's what we needed to do, and he was going to move forward. We had the money. We've already said we're putting it into playground equipment. So,
So then section
I'm-
two, what I'm hearing is, just so that I can, it would be to authorize and proceed, what you're saying then, with phase one of the project development,
phase 1A,
but phase 1A, correct? Including the final design and procurement and all that is based on available funding, which we know is 135,000, right? As approved by city council. And then section 3 would remain,
Yep.
city manager designee is authorized to make minor adjustments to the plans as necessary in order to bring each phase,
yeah, I think.
or
that's-
bring the phase into fruition.
Right, right. And that's my understanding of what this council's ready to do.
Do you want to, just clarify, if there is pushback from the city manager on doing it, do you want to grant the authority to city manager?
It says designee.
But he's the one that's gotta make the designation.
Well,
If-
I'll
if
grant
he's
it to the
pushing back
mayor.
on it, he may not make that designation.
Why is it, this is punitive to the city. This is punitive to the residents. This is punitive to Ansay Park. It makes no sense.
I agree with that. I'm trying to get it where you are designating a specific person.
Well, who
If
is
it has to be-
authorized to be a purchasing procurement
It has to be
officer?
Mary or, you know,
Mary says she won't do it
Okay.
because Dennis is gonna tell her not to do it.
well, if
This
you-
is ridiculous.
If she has specific instruction from the city council to comply with this, to make these purchases,
Okay,
then you have told her what to implement.
all right, Mary. Will you be the designee? I don't want to get you in trouble, but it's only a few more weeks that he's your boss.
I'm gonna miss my boss, I want you to know.
No, I'm not saying, no, I'm just saying.
He is a good man. I understand the pecking order, the chain of command. My boss is my boss, but you're also the boss. So if something is passed giving me direction, then I will follow the direction that I'm supposed to follow. So if it's city manager, based on legal advice, whatever it is that needs to get done, then it'll get done. Excuse me?
If the council instructs you to take
Yes, absolutely.
specific action, that seems to me a pretty simple concept.
Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I would have to do it.
But you're taking that authority away from the city manager.
We are. Mary's not. The council is,
Yeah, I know.
which I don't like. It's ridiculous.
We had a resignation over something like that.
No.
I know.
City manager designee.
That's fine with me.
I'm afraid we're not gonna move forward if we hold back too much on this.
We can pass a motion with the sense of the council. Advise that it must go forward now.
Bruce?
If you use, instead of authorized, if you would use the word directed, would that help?
Well, we don't have to decide until the meeting, so.
In the
Section
first
2?
sentence of section 1, say the city manager is designee is directed instead of
We,
authorized.
we could leave it the way it is, the city manager or assistant city manager is authorized. So we're giving authorization to both of them. And then Dennis, if he wants to, can move forward on it. And then Mary needs to move forward if Dennis doesn't.
That's
That
what
too-
Neil suggested.
Oh, I thought he was just gonna put Mary in.
No, I think, well, I'm saying whatever you do, use the word directed instead of authorized.
Oh. God, that's ridiculous.
If I'm authorized to do something, that doesn't mean I've got to do it.
Okay, I like directed instead of authorized. And then is it city manager or assistant city manager, or is it assistant city manager is authorized to move forward? Or we could use her,
Say either the city manager or,
Okay.
or the assistant city manager
Right.
is directed.
are you comfortable with that directive?
Follow directives, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, I know that Dennis's city manager would not go beyond that 135,000. I would bet my life that he would not do anything that would
But
hurt the
he
city or
wouldn't-
anything like that.
He wouldn't be able to.
Right,
Like,
exactly,
There's
'cause it's-
no way that he could.
yeah,
and
But
next
we're not
year-
even sure if we want to move forward on any, maybe we're going to do phase 1B, and then that's it on NC
Right,
Park.
I
So for us to
understand.
say implement the rest of the phases, I'm not approving implementing the rest of the phases. I don't care if it takes 40 years.
Right,
I mean,
I
I-
understand exactly
So
what
Yeah.
you're
we're
saying,
gonna say
especially
they
with
can
budget
proceed with
constraints coming.
Phase 1A instead of next phases of
Right,
project
yeah,
development. Okay,
yeah.
so that's all we're doing is changing it to 1A.
Yeah, and then changing instead of designee to ACM, and instead of authorized, it's directed.
I like leaving designee because what if Mary's busy and Dia ends up helping with it or something, you know, I mean, I guess I feel like,
That's fine with me, we're directing them.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any clearer than directed.
That's right.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Neil? Okay. That's fine, Roxanne, I think that's, as long as we say directed and limit it.
yep, directed to proceed with phase 1A of project development.
Right. I mean, for us to give him permission to move forward on all 3.5 million of a plan that's supposed to be
That's not what we did.
cafeteria. No, I know we didn't, we took it out, right. But he wants it back, and that's what I'm saying, that's, you, okay, we spent enough time on it. You thought that was gonna be the quick one?
So,
I just don't wanna hold.
council,
up
you got,
this
you
project.
guys have all of your notes and communication points when we move on to be able to make a motion? Okay. Okay. All right, that's the last time for my meetings. Sorry, I'm going back and forth to different notes.
EDC?
Yes, next item up for bids. Sorry, let me get this on here, I'm sorry. Holy cow, where are all my notes? What is tonight? Tonight is the 7th. Workshop. Okay, my apologies. All right. Moving back to 26012 is discuss the FY 25-26 goals with the EDC. So, council, I know the governing body met with EDC previously to talk about the direction EDC was going, the direction that council was giving EDC. So this is an opportunity for you guys to continue that discussion and establish some goals. I see Linda's out in the audience, so establish some goals for 25-26 plans in the direction that you want EDC to go. So we'll open that for discussion.
Well, I was wondering, Linda, do you want to comment on what's in your work plan now? Well, I'm just wondering if one of your ideas of non-capital is something that we like and would like to give you support for. I'd like to know what they are, so we can say, yeah, that's great. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Not ready.
I thought
Not
you
ready
had
for-
a work plan. Okay. Okay.
Well, and I think we may end up, my position would be that it might be wise to wait for the next city manager before we do proceed forward. Because several of the people that we've interviewed have worked on EDC themselves and have really had a lot of good experience with that. I think as a city, that we have to look at our EDC as a way to develop more revenue for the city, because we can't keep paying all this with taxes. This is, we don't have outside revenue sources like many little cities do. And I think we need to explore other options that would actually bring revenue in. And I don't know what that all means at this point, but maybe looking at the strip mall, that doesn't have much in it, or the Four Corners, or, and I know we've looked at that before, but I think it's time to start really proceeding forward with that, because otherwise our taxes will go up and up and up.
I think you just put your finger on the most important thing for this city,
What's that?
finding income, other than
Oh,
property
yeah,
taxes.
absolutely. That's not even a question. but it can't fall all on EDC's shoulders. Yeah, because theirs is a more long-term development. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. But theirs is a longer-term development of.
And also in looking at the long-term plan for the city, one of the things I've observed in other cities and similar size to ours, we have a public safety center that isn't even it's a metal building, and you take people, our staff there is being put there during tornadoes and told to, hang on for dear life. And I think maybe as a city, we need to start exploring what we need to do to move forward with making our city safe for the staff and for all of us. And maybe it needs to be a shelter there or something. And so because of that, that is my big reason for not moving forward with the tiny village on our city property, because I think that's something that we may be needing in the near future.
Right. And we've definitely discussed that, and that is a part of our plan, is to address all city facilities, but in priority order, probably public safety. So that's no surprise, and yes, we've been, that's definitely a high priority. Okay, so now the city manager is going to have some high priorities in their first 90 days, and EDC might not be among one of their highest priorities the first 90 days. So do we want to give EDC some preliminary guidelines? I wrote down a couple things, but I think they can align with the Ansay Park conceptual design. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that's a pavilion with some picnic tables. I don't know if it's part of the walking trail there. But certainly economic developments can support park development because quality parks and recreation amenities are increasingly recognized as economic development tools, not just quality of life projects. It attracts visitors and tourism. It increases the property values around the park, which therefore increases our tax base. And the examples that they gave here were trails, event spaces, community branding.
Baseball fields.
Well, it could be.
It's
but-
crazy
but
because it is.
It is, absolutely. Get other teams in here and, yeah, but that's not something that the city can probably afford based on our other priorities. But I can see, so I don't know how everybody feels about that. I don't know what dollar amount. I don't know if it is the pavilions, if it is part of the walking trail. And maybe Linda, you could kick around a couple of those with your board and see which ones, but somehow partnering with the city on the Ansay Park conceptual design.
That's what
Okay.
that's what I was gonna say next. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that, yes.
And then
And that was the phone call I made 3 weeks ago, is that we want EDC's help. I mean,
Right.
that's what you guys are here, is to help us, and we're here to help you guys.
and
so
it helps the city.
we work together to actually create something that is gonna bring in economic revenue.
And then, I don't know the future of the sports complexes and stuff there, but I do know that many cities are developing sports complexes because they bring in revenue. So they're a real revenue producer. So that is something that we want to keep our mind open to, I guess, yeah.
Right, right. And when you put lighting in and stuff like that around a residential area, there's going to have to be a lot of discussion with those residents.
Right.
Because if you're putting in
Absolutely.
baseball, okay. The other one, Linda, we had talked about, gosh, ever since I moved to the city probably, is the digital signs for city communications. That is branding, that is communications, that is making our city more presentable to outsiders, to tourists coming in. So that is right up EDC's alley.
Plus you can sell advertising time,
Plus you can, yep,
help offset the cost of it.
right. So if you could look into that. And then there's always partnering with the business owners at Four Corners to develop some type of shared septic system. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to the owner of CC's on that, and, but anyway, that's also, I would say those three, to me, are the highest priorities.
Yeah, I think with the Four Corners, when you start doing developments there, bringing in some new business. Be forced to put in septic, not septic. So, you know, that, you're gonna have quite a bit of land to do that, so, you know, involved as well, but that's gonna be a huge thing.
And that's directly up EDC's alley. Yeah. Was that good guidance?
The interpretation.
We like it, but maybe our users.
Well, if we could get you guys to agree on the funding of it and within a range, then,
Also, could you also that on the economic value that
well, that's hard to do with economic development projects. So that's where judgment comes in and that's where leadership comes in. So I would use AI if I were you, and I would ask for the economic impact of.
actually I have.
Okay, great, because like the park design, it didn't strike me until I read about it that would improve the property values in that area, which increases our tax base. Yeah, so I mean, some people go, oh, parks, that's not EDC, but yes, it is. I mean.
So one
It
comment on
qualifies.
the park. When I looked at it, I did put the drawing. That stays on both sides. $21,000 for that.
You guys have like
You have
almost
$300,000.
$300,000.
Stephen, listen to yourself as far as where you're trying to make money. So yes, you're putting it into a park, it's going to raise property values that you might see. But can you put it into something?
Well, I don't think a walking trail or a bench has direct revenue generating potential. So it's a matter of judgment.
As a pop-up event, because that. Yes, so if we don't have the commercial,
But what about the pavilion?
the pavilion's too small.
Well, what about doing two
Why
of
don't
them
make
or
a-
three
why
of
don't
them?
you make a bigger pavilion?
What was the price of it?
I think they're.
You have $300,000.
It was probably more than that, but you got to understand that those prices, it's all negotiable, and there's a contingency on there so that, you know, if it took,
It's all concrete.
right.
But I went over and I checked out the market. At the proper thing, it has houses like. It's the residents as far as. Smaller events, but that's.
It'll bring people in, it'll bring recognition to our city, it can go toward branding, they're not all direct revenue in our pocket. It's called development for a reason.
Dorothy, what are
I don't know, your pop-ups,
the pop-ups? So you have,
but you're bringing them into the city.
yeah, but you're competing with.
How about a city sign? Why don't you put $50,000 into 3 signs? One at North Point.
All 3 gateway entries.
all 3
That would be
gateway
great,
entries.
actually. Digital signs, because the
Digital
reality
signs
is
and-
people need to be able to communicate when the Hankins had a water break
Yep,
by their house.
yep.
They had no idea
So-
what was going on. They don't do Facebook, so like digital signage, boom, there you go.
And then, okay, and then you can work with us. You guys go see what your 3 recommendations are. You bring 3 recommendations to council, and we can collaborate and work together on the ultimate.
Okay, so our recommendations are very, Katie, you have given us, but we come back with an idea.
Hey, man, why don't you want to spend any money? Why don't you want to spend any money?
We do, but we want to spend.
Okay, so then let's figure out a way to supplement the septic system on the 4 corners.
Okay, the decentralized.
Right, Jimmy, and I respect you and I love you to death,
Linda,
right?
Linda.
Linda, I'm sorry, Linda. I was thinking about something else. My apologies, Jimmy. You've got to work with us.
I know.
And for whatever you're refusing to work with us.
No, I'm not. And to
That's what
say
it
that
feels like.
they're not, well, that's kind of what we felt. So it's not.
Right, but it's not tit for tat, right?
But it's not, don't say that we don't want to spend money.
When's the last time the EDC spent money on Morgan's Point? And how many years ago was that?
It was
4. No, it was,
final of it.
oh, but no, it was spent. It was
It's
spent
5.
well before we got on
Right,
council.
5 years ago, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other option is the event center. And the event center you had this plan about the master gardeners, and you were gonna fix up the bathrooms, and you were gonna make this, a place that, people could come. You
So here's another thing is that the EDC,
understand.
see it as our job and do the window. The use on the events.
Well, where's the other $270,000 going?
So would you not agree that the electronic billboards would be a good project?
If it's done properly.
Okay.
If it's done,
I mean, there's companies in town that do those things, and I've dealt with them before.
but not like the church that you can't.
Well, that's your discretion, and then working
big
with
one.
council. You won't do a bad sign.
No.
Together, we will do a good sign that's readable, that's appealing, that fits in with the culture and the surroundings of our city.
Very attractive.
Very attractive.
I understand they also have to go on city property.
Okay.
So we really just.
These billboards or these signs would bring in revenue for you as well,
Yeah.
because you can advertise.
That's where I like it. I like
Yeah.
the idea, but I just want to.
Well, that is in your discretion, and it's in our discretion.
Get your
We
conceptual
won't let that
design.
happen.
Yeah.
If you could see what you think works best. I think we have to have it at 3 places. I don't think we can just limit it to 2483. And so there'd be 3 signs, and hopefully computer controlled.
Could be programmable.
Yeah, programmable. Mhm.
So going back in the city, basically the sign,
Yes. Yes.
what EDC has to. Oh, but we can share.
Okay.
EDC is not. 2016.
What? We have a.
This
No,
parks
no,
plan is
this
2 weeks
brand
old.
new. We just got it.
The one that was supposed to have been Dennis. The basic concept from the 2016.
No, we
No,
just took
no.
Ansay Park, and we have a conceptual plan for Ansay Park that we just
It's a
got 2 weeks ago that council has
Concept.
approved.
I don't know why we're all stuck on the semantics. It is a
A
concept.
concept, sorry,
Like,
sorry.
it is a concept.
And it is 2 weeks old.
No, I'm talking about the one that's 10 years old.
We're not asking you to look at that one.
No,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying, is that EDC goes in, that nothing happens with it. Okay, master plan for the 20. Nothing happened to it. You don't even know what you paid for. You know, that's what I'm saying. is
But that's Temple's, that's within Temple's jurisdiction, not ours.
Okay, council, if I can,
Yes,
I'm gonna nip this because
Yeah.
we're spiraling rapidly down into the bottom of the lake.
Well, I don't know, I think
and-
we agreed on signs.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
I agree with the three comments.
So to summarize from what I'm hearing up here is we still have some work to do with EDC to establish some direction. We will,
Just give it to us and we'll move along.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so how are we gonna get something to EDC? Is that something that you and Kelly can out and send?
I'd like to see us make a resolution recommending that EDC follow these three items to research and look into for development. And that would be the Ansay Park conceptual design, digital signs for communication, and partner with business owners on the septic system. Those are the three areas I think we need to go with EDC as a city. If we could write that up as a resolution for next May, for our next,
April 14th.
April 14th, we could get it on, okay. Yeah, then we could, that would be in writing, it would be a resolution, we could give it to EDC.
And that won't take very long at all.
yeah, we'll be pushing to make tomorrow, but we'll try because you got nothing better to do.
Well, we all know it's coming, so if the piece of paper is a little bit late on the agenda, I think we're fine with that. Yeah, because we all know it's coming now.
Roxanne, you said, I'm sorry, Ansay Park digital sign and the septic.
Yes, at the Four Corners, partner
Septic
with business
sewer.
owners at the Four
Partner
Corners.
for septics.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay,
Don't say Four Corners, say commercial.
Okay, commercial district.
commercial district,
Oh,
okay.
that sounds so official.
All right, so real quick, as we are rapidly approaching close, I have checked with our CFO, stand-in city manager. She has nothing for items 4 and 5. Do what?
We'll do it at the meeting.
Yeah, nothing for 4 and 5, so without objection, we will go ahead and adjourn out of the workshop.
All right.
Council, take 5. Residents, give us just a minute. Some of us old people got to get to the voice room, and we will roll right into the 6 o'clock.